Just a little video to give information about being a student in the Wildewood Academy. I appreciate you checking it out. My name is Mark Krause, and I'm the director of the Wildewood Academy. And we've been working on this project for about 3 years now. We've graduated our first class, and I'd be very glad to speak to you personally about this if you have questions. The Wildewood Academy is part of the ministry of Wildewood Christian Church. And so we're very cognizant of the mission statement of Wildewood Christian Church, which is that we are a congregation committed to making disciples through evangelism and nurture. So those things about making disciples and evangelism and nurture are all through the program, really permeating the design of the Wildewood Academy program. The Academy has its own mission statement, which flows under the mission statement of the church. The Wildewood Academy serves Wildewood Christian Church and the larger Christian community by offering adult education, training, and mentoring to develop competent, confident, and faithful leaders for the service of the church. So we designed this mainly to meet needs that we saw coming up in the future for church leaders at Wildewood Christian Church. But we've opened this up to people from other churches too, so you don't have to be a member of Wildewood Christian Church to participate in this. The key Bible verse that we use is in Ephesians 4:12, where a passage where Paul talks about the unity of the church and the purpose of the church. And he says, we, meaning church leaders, are called to equip God's people for works of service to build up the body of Christ. Well, later in Ephesians in chapter 6, he uses the metaphor of spiritual armor, of being in a battle and having these tools, the breastplate, the sword, the helmet, and so forth, that you would need to be successful in battle. And so I take this to mean that when we equip God's people, we're giving them the tools they need in order to be effective in ministry in the church. And the object of that is to build up the body of Christ, which is the church. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to give tools, competencies, confidence that people will have, adults will have, so that they can be more effective in serving the church. So I've got a series of what I call clarifying questions that hopefully might be questions you would have about the Academy, and I'm just going to walk through these and try to give answers as we go. First, what are the admission requirements for the Certificate of Ministry program? Well, pretty simple. As I said, you don't have to be a member of Wildewood Christian Church, but we're looking at age 17 or older. That means that it would be open to upper high school level people, and especially if someone is involved in a homeschooling situation, maybe at the senior level, this might be something that they would be interested in. Then we have an application form. We can print that out, but we prefer that you do that online. And at the very bottom of this page, it gives the website wildewoodacademy.com, where the application form is available, and you do it there, and then it sends it to me, and then I print it out and put it in a file. And then also 2 required essays that we're asking everybody. One is just my personal testimony. How did you get to be a Christian? How did you get to be where you are? I'm not looking for praise you or condemn you or anything there. I just kind of want to get to know you. And then also, what do you see your future role as a church leader or lay counselor to be? How do you see yourself fitting into the ministry of the church? And those aren't long essays. I'm not looking for more than a couple of paragraphs on each one. These are not like 10-page essays. So if we need help on that, we're glad to do that. We like to have students complete the Discover Wildewood and the Membership Matters classes. These are kind of Wildewood 101 and 102. And these are classes that Robin Ziegenfuss teaches. And it's not that you've got to go through and pass those classes. The reason we're asking that is because he covers things in those classes that we're going to kind of assume you know, and it would be material that we're not going to cover in the program, but important material. And then we have to have approval by the admissions committee, and that consists of Dr. Weimer and myself, and we try to get as quick a turnaround on that as we can. I didn't put this up there, but for the lake counseling um, thing, the lake counseling track, we also would like you to do a background check, and it's just the same background check we do for all the people who work with children or youth in the church. And it's not anything where we get a readout of all of your background, police records or anything like that. The company we use gives us either a green light or a warning or something, and it's just something that because the lake counseling group is literally going to be at some point doing counseling with people in the church, and we're doing that to protect both you and the church. So these things are available through the website wildewoodacademy.com. The second question, what are the requirements to receive the Wildewood Academy Certificate of Ministry? Well, both groups, we ask that you complete 6 Wildewood Academy seminars, and these are things that are not part of the class. They're things that are open to people in the church, and we do about 3 of these a year. We did one this last year where Dr. Kevin Larson came and talked about biblical archaeology. That was especially for the church leader group. We're doing one next fall in October on worship, transforming worship. Dr. Rory Nolan going to come in and do that for us. And so these are pretty big events. They're usually Friday night, 6 to 9, and Saturday morning, 9 to 12. So a 6-hour block, and we try to do them on the weekend. That seems to work the best for us. And that way we're done by noon. And if you want to go to the Husker game in the fall, you can do that. You're not in a conflict. Secondly, we ask that you complete 4 Bible theology courses, and I'll explain what those are in a minute. But both tracks, church leader or lay counseling, would take these 4 Bible theology courses. Third, you would complete 4 other courses that are staged by the Academy, and that would be 4 church leader courses if you're in that track, or if you're in the lay counselor track, that would be 4 different courses, and I'll outline those in just a minute. And then for the church leader track, we want you to be involved in service in the church. If you're not a member here, we'd like you to be involved in service at your church. And we want to try to track that. We haven't done a very good job on that. We're getting better, but we'd like to see about 100 hours per year, which is about 10 or 15 hours a month. And we would be working on that together. So third question, what is the design and sequence of the program? In other words, how does it work? Well, the Academy classes are either on Thursday nights, that would be the church leader group, or Monday nights, that would be the lay counseling group. And they meet from 6 to 8 p.m. We try to start on time. We try to finish on time. We know adults are very, very busy, and we don't take that for granted. We know that people are making sometimes pretty big sacrifices to be in class. So we respect your time. We tend to not go overtime, and we don't have extra classes. We use a online program called Canvas, which is really the biggest online educational program in America, and we use that as a learning platform. And so the assignments that you have each week are given on Canvas, and if you submit something, submitted through Canvas. So we don't turn in papers. We do all of that on Canvas. If there is a video lecture, there will be a link to that on Canvas, and then a lot of times we'll have a discussion thread going on during the week where you'll post and then you'll respond to other students. That will also be done through Canvas. And then we're going to try to make sure that each student is assigned a mentor. We did some of this and it kind of broke down because we had some of the mentors move away and we just didn't keep up with it, but we're going to do better with that coming up this next year. So fourth, what's the cost of the program? The courses cost $150 each. So there are 4 courses. Usually you would take 4 courses a year. So that would be $600. And over the 2-year period, it would be $1,200. In that, we include books and materials. So you don't have to supply your own books or anything. We have begun producing notebooks for each course, and all of that will be included in the cost. If you are a student in the academy, when we have a seminar, you're able to participate and attend at no cost if you're enrolled in the certificate program. And the seminar that we're going to do in the fall with Dr. Nolan, I mean, we're going to charge $50 for that because we're providing his book, and you wouldn't have to pay for that. There is a possibility that the second year may be a kind of quasi-staff position at Wildewood Christian Church, a paid residency. We have not done that yet, but we do have that potential, and we may be trying to do that this next year. I would say, though, that if that cost is carrying you away, we're trying to keep it as low as we can, but we are able to give some scholarships. I have some people who are giving money specifically to the church to provide scholarships for Wildewood Academy students. So all you need to do is talk to me, and we'll try to work things out for you that way. And then fifth, what are the courses in the program? We kind of talked about this before, but both tracks, whether it be church leader or lay counselor, take Bible and theology courses. And the core group of courses, we do an Old Testament survey, we do a New Testament survey, we do biblical interpretation, and then a class in Christian theology. And I wish we could do more, but we've really decided these are the most essential classes that you need to be educated and to be confident as a church leader. If you are in the church leader track, you would take 4 other courses that are unique to that track. The first one is a personal evaluation course where we do things like take the Strengths Finder, inventory, the Enneagram, and some things like that, and begin to understand who we are, develop some self-awareness. We have a class in personal discipleship where we go through a discipleship training manual, and literally I'm going to try to disciple you in 8 weeks as much as we can. Then we do a class more on personal leadership skills, how to plan, organize, how to manage your time, and we have a number of very interesting things that go on in that one. And then finally we do a class on the church, meaning Wildewood Christian Church, and its ministries, and we have ministry leaders in the church come in and talk a little bit about what goes on so that you're more aware of what the church is, how it runs, and what's going on. In the lay counselor track, you take 4 counseling courses. So you do 1, 2, 3 foundations courses, and those just sort of build on each other, and Dr. Ron does a lot of different things in those and gives you tools. Some of those are things that you begin to use right away in your sometimes almost accidental lay counseling opportunities that you might have when you're talking with a friend or maybe a family member. And he doesn't wait, it's not all theory. There's a lot of hands-on in those first 3. And then the 4th one, we haven't taught this yet, but we plan on that being more of a practicum where you might actually be involved in some counseling, not one-on-one, but with a counselor to see firsthand how that works. So last question, what is the mentored service aspect of the program? This is especially for the church leader track, but we're also trying to get that in place for the lay counseling people, at least to provide them with a mentor. So a mentor is a supervisor willing to assign tasks, track hours, report hours. We're hoping that we can keep better track of that this coming year. And then also willing to meet at least twice a month for 1 hour to discuss progress in ministry tasks, or just to talk about what's going on in your life, being a mentor, and talking through some issues that you might have in your personal life or your spiritual formation. So class expectations per each module, how do these classes work? Well, students are expected to attend class once a week, either Monday if you're in the lay counseling group, or Thursday if you're in the church leader group, for these 2-hour sessions we already talked about. These are taught in 8-week modules, we call them, and that's by design. We think 8 weeks is just about right. If you do less than that, you're trying to cramp too much into too short a time. If you do more, you kind of lose track and lose focus. So 8-week modules. So there are 2 of those in the fall and 2 in the spring. So we begin in August and we go into December, although we do take the week of Thanksgiving off, and then we begin again in January and we're done in early May. We don't have classes in the summer. So the total commitment is for 32 weeks of class. Now, there is a possibility of doing both tracks at the same time, which means sometimes you would be attending both Monday night and Thursday night. And we've had 3 students do that. Nobody has completed it yet, but we have 3 students involved in that. It costs a little bit more, and it's a bigger commitment. But we are going to make that a possibility that you could do that in 2 years, or you could wait for a 3rd year and do the other track and finish that out. So students do weekly readings in an appropriate book. Usually that'll be 30, 40 pages, sometimes less. And these are not hard books. These are adult level books, but they're not, super heavy duty books, and students usually enjoy the readings that we do. Students watch 1 or 2 online videos per week before class. So in preparation for class, we'll have a couple of videos available, maybe 1, maybe 2. They're usually about 15 minutes long. Some of them are only about 10 or 12, and a few are a little bit longer than that. Most of these are, for the church leader group at least, are videos that I have produced, and sometimes they're videos that I produced for other courses that I've taught at colleges, and I host all of those on YouTube, but you get a link to those, and we'll show you how that works in a minute. And then students do a weekly report on the reading and watching. So after you do the reading and after you watch the videos, you just do a little report, and it tells me what percentage of the assignment did you do. You're supposed to read 25 pages and watch 1 video. Well, I only read 20 and I only watched half the video. Okay, well, tell me what's your estimate? 75%. Most students, it's 100% all the time. And then I want to know one thing you learned from these assignments, and that's a 1 or 2 sentence thing. Some students like to write a lot on that, and that's okay. And also 1 question that you might have about this material. What question did it bring up for you that you need to have answered? And sometimes I try to answer those for the church leader group using the comment feedback loop in Canvas. So I'll give you a personal answer. If there's a lot of people that have the same question, then we'll bring that up and talk about it in class. So this is something you do on Canvas, and you don't produce a paper. We have set up in Canvas. You can type it right in there. You don't have to do it in Word and upload a file or anything like that. And usually there's 1 written assignment per module, and those won't be heavy things, maybe 1 to 2 pages, but we like to see a little bit of written work done. So what is Canvas? I'll end up here. What does Canvas look like? This is kind of my version of Canvas. I have the teacher's version, so it's a little bit different. Canvas is well known. It's called the Learning Management System, LMS, but we are able to participate through that because I have faculty status at Hope International University. We can do it for free, and There are some limits to that, but it's pretty functional. There is an app for Canvas to do on your phone, and to be very honest, I don't really know how to do that, and I'm not very good at it. So at the beginning of the class in August, we will have somebody who knows how to do that. We've had students that have finished that are really good on the phone app, and we'll have somebody come in and help you with that and explain it. I think Canvas works better if you do it on a computer and do it online, but I'll sign you up in the courses, and what happens is you provide me an email and it will send you an invitation to join the course. And if you respond, then you'll be able to access the course. So this is kind of the splash page. This is what the course we finished in May on Christian theology, the front page looks like. If we were to get down into some of the assignments, you can see over there on the left-hand tabs, I'm now under assignments, and this is like to get ready for the first session. What would you do? Well, in this course, we have a book that we use called Core Christianity, and I ask students to read the first little section, so it's 8 pages. And then I have 2 videos, and these are videos I did for St. Louis Christian College, so they're branded that way. I may get those rebranded by the time we teach this class again, but just a couple of videos for you to watch. And like I said, I host these on YouTube, but they're private, and yet you get the link here on Canvas. You just have to click on that link and it'll take you right to the video. And then it talks about the report, and same thing I said, percentage, what'd you learn, and maybe a question that you might have. So that's Canvas. It's a really high level quality product. If you've taken online courses where they've used something other than Canvas, I can almost guarantee you that you will find Canvas to be superior. And one of the things, sort of the side benefit of this, is that if you've not done online education, will help you, and this is a very safe environment to learn how to use something like Canvas and learn how to do an online course. So if you decide to go on and do some online courses through community college or something, you'll be confident that you can do it and you can figure it out. It won't be intimidating for you. So we'll ease into that. We don't want to scare anybody off because of the online part of it. This kind of makes these courses officially, these would be considered to be hybrid courses, because some of the material is delivered online, like these videos and the discussions that we do, and some of it is live classroom. And we think that's the best way to go, the best use of your time. We would estimate then that your weekly commitment is 2 hours of class and about 2 hours or so in preparation for class. So, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 4 hours a week. And I know that's asking a lot because you're busy people, but that's really what you're going to get more out of this if you put more into it. And the students will say that over and over again. So if you have questions, you can consult the Wildewood Academy page, or you can contact me, Dr. Krause, at the church, and I'd be glad to answer your questions. Thank you.